What is going on? Everybody, what is going on? The Catch fam, I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight. I hope you guys have had a beautiful start to the week. And as always, hope you guys are ready for another live 2024 fantasy football draft here at Catch. We're hopping into an Underdog fantasy football draft tonight. We've got the Fast Puppy fastly, quickly, very fast. I don't know. I was trying to make a play on words there, but this tournament is very, very rapidly filling. It's at 84.3% filled. So, you know what we're going to do tonight. We're going to hop into Fast Puppy. So, I'm going to try and give another minute or so here, see if any of you guys get in here early enough to enter the draft with me. If not, I'll do a second draft with you guys. And we should be good to go tonight. So get in the live chat. Any fantasy football questions you guys have, redraft, dynasty, best ball, throw them at me. Any fantasy topics you guys have, any NFL topics you guys have. This is what we're doing here. We're talking fantasy football. We're talking training camp. Whatever you guys need. I know some people out there are starting to get their like redraft draft positions and stuff. So, and there's also the time of the year where like dynasty, training camp implications can come up. So let's talk some fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have some fun. All right. In terms of sleepers reports today, July 22nd. By the way, I'm going to enter the lobby at 10:42 p.m. Eastern time. Fast Puppy, fast clock. There's no slow option. 10:42 p.m. Eastern time. Get in the draft with me. All right, Bengals president Mike Brown on a Jamar Chase extension. It's not so likely that this is the good time to negotiate. The offseason is a better time for that, and we're going to try to keep focused on the football part. I'm not going to rule anything out, but I will tell you that the die has probably been cast. Okay. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh with high praise for wide receiver Rashad Bateman. He's expected to be a top receiver in the league for us. That's what we're planning on. So let's talk about the difference between these two types of reports, right? Jamar Chase, like we know the situation's going on. This isn't going to impact fantasy football. Like there's a very small chance. By the way, I'm entering the lobby. Get in the lobby. 10 spots. Get in the spots. Get in the draft. Like I don't know. Even with the Brandon Ayuk situation, like there's no leverage here. Like this isn't really going to affect fantasy football more than likely, right? But then you look at the Rashad Bateman thing, who's already been a guy in terms of like late round selection, like that people have talked about this offseason. And now you get one of these reports, right? And people will start drafting more Rashad Bateman because of this. So just do not be surprised, okay? Or maybe they'll be more willing to draft Bateman at an aggressive rate, so to speak. So these are the types of reports that we want to pay attention to in terms of the offseason, okay? It's just like Xavier Worthy catching a ball. People will now go after Xavier Worthy just a little bit more aggressively, okay? Here's an interesting one. Quarterback Sam Darnold will take the majority of first-team snaps when Vikings training camp opens. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell notes J.J. McCarthy should get some reps as well. So, I mean, if you've kind of been on the I'm on the clock. I will go CMC here. I'm not ready for this pick. I'm going to do it on this screen, which you guys won't care. But, yeah, we've talked about Sam Darnold throughout the offseason, mainly because Pete is a Vikings fan. Like we've been pretty tuned in to the Viking situations here, right? And all off season long, basically, Pete has been like, Sam Darnold's going to be the guy. And we might see a realistic possibility that is now coming to life. So listen, this is just training camp. Like, we're just starting training camp here, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, JJ McCarthy's still potentially going to get some reps here. It's the other report that we're getting here. This is kind of expected, right? Sam Darnold gets the first team reps. Can JJ McCarthy overtake Sam Darnold? We'll find out. If he doesn't, then Sam Darnold's a guy. So sit back and see what happens. Here's one that I think is, once again, relevant for fantasy football. Another Vikings player. Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson is considered well ahead in his recovery from the ACL tear in December. Per head coach Kevin O'Connell, Hawkinson will begin training camp on the PUP list. Now, I'm telling you, people will already react to this report because Hawkinson's been one of those guys that, like, people have been drafting like as a tight end 2, tight end 3, and they're like, put him on my IR, or in like best ball drafts, it's like he's a great value. Like down the stretch, he's going to be great. We know what Hawkinson's capable of as long as he stays healthy. And now we get this report that he's ahead of recovery. People are going to start to kind of panic, like, oh, I've been drafting TJ Hawkinson already at a value. Now I have to make sure I draft TJ Hawkinson at a value. You know what I mean? So keep an eye on TJ Hawkinson in drafts. That's that one will be interesting. I don't think it's gonna be a major jump. Like, he's still gonna miss time, but people will react to the fact that he is now only going, or is at least ahead in recovery, I should say. Then we also had Joe Burrow has been fully cleared for contact. So the torn wrist ligament looks like it is donezo, according to reports. And that's about it. I mean, the big thing coming out today is that the Packers are optimistic about getting a contract extension done with quarterback Jordan Love in the next couple days. Jordan Love is not practicing until that is handled. He is standing on business. Okay, he is showing up, but he's not doing anything on the practice field. So I think there's a good chance this one gets done. Okay. We'll see. It's going back and forth according to reports. I don't think it's going to have a major impact on like fantasy football or anything crazy like that. All right. So I got to send a quick text. Mike Evans and Devonta Smith after going C-Mac at the 1.1. I think I got an idea for the 4.849 that you guys have seen quite a bit of. At least quite a bit of me doing this same strategy from the 1.1. All right, sorry, I'm screwing up my text I'm trying to send. I'm really bad at talking and texting. Does anyone else have that problem? All right, I'm done. All right, how you guys doing tonight? We got Cats in the house saying 20% Bateman feels good, right? I'm sure it does right now. Will it still feel good come middle of the season? I was starting to get pretty up there in terms of exposure to Bateman. Like, he was just one of those guys I was taking kind of like later on. But he dropped back a little bit. He dropped back significantly. He went down to 10.9% for me. I had him in like the top, like a high 20-ish percent, like 25, 26. I've been taking more like Malachi Corley's become one of my most drafted wide receivers in best ball. DJ Chark's really gotten up there. And those are guys I'm drafting as like wide receiver 7, wide receiver 8. But I have a tendency to draft like the same wide receiver 7s and 8s. Like, it just doesn't really bother me. Armando, what's going on? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Made for TVs in the house. What is up, my dude? Always a pleasure to have you. By the way, if you guys are in the Catch Fam Superflex League, the Catch Fam Auction League, or you were in the Catch Fam Redraft League #1 last year, check Sleeper. Hop on there and let me know if you guys are playing in those leagues again this year. I'm just trying to slowly get the leagues together. Those are the leagues that always repeat, and then I will go from there and start to organize more leagues for you guys. We'll have a lot of fun this year. All right, I was going to go my homies here and stack them with Hollywood, but I'm going Jalen Hurts. And then I'm gonna go Hollywood Brown here. I was really close to going Kincaid. We'll still take one of the two. We'll go Hollywood, but I'm gonna go ahead and just stack Hurts with Smith. Shopkey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Armando, how do you feel on stacking quarterbacks with wide receivers / tight end? So both specifically, like getting the wide receiver and the tight end, or just getting one or the other? Because if it's one or the other, sorry, let me shrink myself. If it's one or the other, absolutely, like 100%. And then if it's just one wide receiver, one tight end, then yes, 100%. I mean, these are things that you, in my opinion, should be doing in best ball drafts. You don't have to get every player on the offense, but as long as you get, like, if you're going to draft a quarterback, your target for the rest of the draft, or the way you structure your team, you know, if you draft Jamar Chase in the first round, you should be targeting Joe Burrow at a later point in the draft. You don't have to, you know, target T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Mike Gesicki, Zach Moss, and Joe Burrow. You don't have to get everybody. If you want to get 2 of those guys, you want to get 3 of those guys, that's fine. Weekly Winners is the only tournament on Underdog where I would be okay like drafting an entire offensive roster. And yes, I have done that. And yes, I've gone completely against ADP to do that. But in terms of stacking, you should be like, you don't have to stack in redraft leagues. Stacks can be beneficial long-term in Dynasty. Stacks can still be beneficial in redraft. But the way that the structure works for best ball, you should be stacking in best ball. Yeah, so 100%. Shopkey, truly, I don't understand why we take any wide receiver who's not the team's #1. Smith, Waddle, Higgins seems to be a disadvantage. No. The thing is, these wide receiver 2s put up close enough to wide receiver 1 numbers. They're not putting up top tier wide receiver 1 numbers because of guys like AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, but they're still putting up top 15 to top 20 fantasy wide receiver points. I mean, that's why they're going where they go respectively in drafts, right? So that's basically the whole reason, right? That's the whole answer is even if they are the wide receiver 2 on their respective team, they're still putting up enough fantasy points to where they are valued close enough to a wide receiver 1. Plus, like, we don't really talk about handcuffing wide receivers, right? We talk about handcuffing running backs, right? But it goes without saying that if a guy like A.J. Brown goes down, Devonta Smith just fits right in automatically as a wide receiver 1, you know? Jamar Chase goes down, Higgins a wide receiver 1. If Hill goes down, Waddle's a wide receiver 1. Plus, when we're looking at these teams that are able to support 2 wide receivers like this, they also present sorry, let me make these 2 draft picks. They present more upside because they're on teams, actual NFL teams, not fantasy teams, that are scoring enough points to where they are relevant enough. You know what I'm saying? All right, give me JSN. And give me Jordan Addison here. Okay, I said this the other week after the Jordan Addison incident came out. If I'm able to draft Jordan Addison as a wide receiver 5, a wide receiver 6, I'm going to continue to do it because I don't think this is going to be a lengthy suspension. Okay? So he hasn't fallen back drastically in ADP, but especially in a best ball format where I want to have more wide receivers than anything going into the 7th, 8th round of the drafts, I will continue to draft Jordan Addison where he's currently landing in terms of ADP. I mean, Mike Evans, Devonta Smith, Hollywood Brown, JSN, Jordan Addison is my wide receiver 5. We're in round 7. That's a good place to be at. We got a hero RB and CMC. We've got our QB1 locked down in Jalen Hurts. I've got Mike Evans on this team, so I can already tell you will be targeting Baker Mayfield as a QB2, and that'll probably be the only other quarterback I go for. If I don't get him, then I guess I'm going in on Geno Smith, who Geno and Baker have like basically the same ADP. So I got JSN on this team as potential stack there. Most of the time, I'm usually okay to land Baker, though. All right, let's see. Chase is in the house. What's up, my dude? Thank you guys for being here. Hope everyone's doing great. Do me a favor, hit the like button, guys. Cats also hidden upside. The wide receiver 1 goes down with injury. Okay. I swear I didn't see this comment when I talked about that. Except Higgins, because that boy's not elite. You know, I had a weird. That's really funny, dude. Because as soon as I was like talking about that, I was like, I do really like T. Higgins, but he worries. There are some wide receivers that I feel better about when they are playing as a wide receiver too. At the same time, because it's like when you have less defensive pressure, sometimes that just plays to your strengths as a wide receiver. Like we've seen games where Chase didn't play where Higgins was perfectly fine in fantasy, but also most of his upside came in games where him and Chase were both healthy and both on the field. So, but I think with Higgins more for me, it just comes down to like potential injury. So. Mondo, thanks for your input. In one of my best ball leagues, I have CJ Stroud, Collins, Schultz. I was wondering if that was too much. No, it's not too much. And, like, dude, I've drafted a team where I have all those guys and Tank Dell, all those guys and Stephon Diggs, all those guys, Dell or Diggs, and Joe Mixon. Like, and that's a little much. People will argue against that. Like, you don't need all of that. But you can really do it either way. If that's all you have, that's fine. You know, especially if you're correlating to, you know, you want to look at like weeks 15, 16, especially week 17. And, man, this guy drafting at the 1-4 has had a lot of good value come to him and been like kind of sniping me. But, you know, if you're correlating to games that the Texans play in those consecutive weeks, especially week 17, that's also going to work in your favor as well. But yeah, if you just have one wide receiver and Schultz and Stroud, do not stress that. Dang it. I wanted Mostert like real bad. Fuck. Give me J-Mo. We're in full hero RB mode here. Man, if I could have got White and Swift, Mostert and Swift, White and Mostert, like any combination of those guys, I was going to be really happy. I just don't think, even though RB is my biggest need right here, I don't really feel like Spears, Singletary, Benson, Javonte are like you might see one of those guys fall to 120. Then at 121... I will just scoop up Jerome Ford or Austin Eckler as my RB4. So give me the additional wide receiver here. And the only thing that I forgot about, so I was going to try and target Dallas Goedert in this draft too. Throw him up there. And my Eagles stack, maybe he falls out to 120. I have been drafting more teams where I'm going 0 RB. Or maybe I'm going hero RB, this team just ended up where I got a quarterback and a running back early. But essentially what I'm saying is instead of probably the quarterback, I'd be drafting a tight end in that spot and going for an elite caliber tight end, whether it's Kincaid, McBride, Andrews, Laporta, and still going very aggressive at wide receiver. And I'm liking a lot of those builds that I'm getting. But this was a unique draft where Hurts fell to us. We had drafted Devonta Smith. Just can't pass up on that. We already had C-Mac at the 1-1. So we'll see what happens here. Dalton Schultz taken a little early here. Got Collins too. That's fine, I guess. Chase, thank you so much for the super chat. If Rice isn't suspended by the start of the season, what are your thoughts on Rice v. Brown v. Worthy? Yeah, so we've talked about sorry, I can't say words. We've talked about this throughout the offseason, right? I like all these guys. Okay. Overall, I like Rice the best. Okay. Then Hollywood, then Xavier Worthy. But I think right now, based on ADP, I'm drafting the most of Hollywood Brown. And I think you can go ahead and equate into that Hollywood Brown should be a lock to start the season. So he has the most immediate impact because I think he's going to have more of an immediate impact than Xavier Worthy because he's a veteran wide receiver. And he's going to be able to, gosh, with the double snipe, guys, he's going to be able, I mean, come on, I can't catch a breakout here. He's going to be able to get acquainted, lack of a better term, quicker. Okay? Because he has played in the NFL, and this is a tough system at the end of the day, right? So I think he'll have the most immediate impact. I love his ADP. But I've talked about Rashee Rice all offseason long. Like when Rashee Rice is there, he's going to be so consistent. He's going to be a stud. Like I don't think the ceiling's super high. I think the ceiling might be higher for Hollywood and arguably Xavier Worthy. But the floor will be really safe for Rashee Rice. You think about how often wide receivers did not catch the football last year. Like Rashee Rice was the guy. Okay, Kelsey, yeah, but we're talking about wide receivers here. He was the guy, and Mahomes is not going to forget about that. You know, coming off a Super Bowl win, all that stuff. Like, I still like Rice, and my main argument for Rice has been like, you're getting him at such a discount in drafts. You know, because at the 5.9 tonight, that's a little early for Rashee Rice, but even at that rate, it's like if Rashee Rice was not facing the potential, and this team has Kelsey, but if he wasn't facing the potential suspension, it's like, honestly, we'd probably be drafting Rashee Rice definitely close to the neighbors Devonta Smith range, in my opinion. You know, I mean, he's a wide receiver one on the Chiefs. I mean, maybe, I guess, with Hollywood and then drafting Xavier, maybe he falls back to like a DJ Moore type area. I could see that. Zay Flowers even, but still, where he's being drafted, which typically is much closer to the 6th round, 5th round. I mean, I guess that's about where he went tonight. I guess it's not too early, but usually you might see him fall past Chris Godwin, Calvin Ridley, but it's not crazy to say he goes a little bit earlier. More people are more likely now to draft Rashee Rice when pretty consistently, like I have a couple entries where at the 1-1, I went Mahomes, Hollywood, then Rice was a lock at 72. And you guys can go back. I mean, I was really doing that all over the place. And Xavier Worthy was going in that range too. Like if I didn't get Rice, I just get Worthy. So tonight we see Rice at the 5.9, Worthy at the 6.7, and Hollywood at the 5.1. So we'll see. But I think when you can draft these guys, get shares of them. And yeah, I do think that there's a chance that he does not face a suspension this year. But we shall see. All right, let's see if I get sniped again here. Why'd I even say it? We are just a bad tight end team over here. I do feel like Charbonnet is a nice little value right here. Why did I say it? We are just loaded at wide receiver, though. So, I don't even care. Give me Luke Musgrave. Then with these next two picks, I got to go Baker, Money, Mayfield. And let's see if Kate Otten falls back here. All right, got some questions. Yeah, I can go Noah Fant as well. See that? Geno, Noah Fant, my backup options. Shopkey says Smith at 22, Waddle 31, Higgins 45, Kirk 47. Myers was number 21. Why the heck we want these others at all? So many better other options. So once again, I think it comes down to the offenses that those respective teams are on. Like Smith is on the Eagles, Waddle's on the Dolphins, Higgins on the Bengals. Kirk, I mean, I think Kirk is a steal at his ADP personally, but Jags, meh. Jags will be fine. But like the Dolphins, for example, scored the second most points in the league last year after the Cowboys. The Eagles' offense is going to be great once again. And Smith, I mean, Smith is my guy, right? Like, so maybe I get a little triggered here, but I think most people would agree, right? And let's see here. Smith was a wide receiver 19, the wide receiver 9 the year before. And so, let's see. Myers was a wide receiver 24 in full PPR. I mean, it's a fair point. Myers is going at a very good value, but I think, once again, like, you're looking at Jalen Hurts, Tua, who threw for the most passing yards in the league last year. Like, let's not hate on Tua. Joe Burrow, fully healthy this year. Trevor Lawrence, who can definitely support Christian Kirk. Plus, Kirk is a wide receiver 1. Kirk is the wide receiver 1 on the Jaguars. He was a wide receiver 1 on the Jaguars last year, so I wouldn't even consider him here. But look at those quarterbacks I just named, and then look at a combination of Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. It's like, I think that's what it really boils down to. But I do think Myers is a good value where he goes. Mostert and Chubb will surprise this year. I'm also a huge Dolphins fan. I really am a fan of drafting Raheem Mostert. So I've been all in on that. Oh, man, I got some good value on the board right here. Chubb, I don't think I would say will surprise people. I think there are a lot of Nick Chubb truthers. I don't think anyone's doubting Nick Chubb as a player. I think what it comes down to is, can he stay healthy? I think that's the big concern. There goes Rashad Bateman against ADP. What did I tell you? And oh my gosh, there are 4 players that I really like right here. We got to take Baker, but then Chuba Hubbard, Demarcus Robinson, and Kate Otten are all right here. Give me Chuba. Ugh. I don't know. That is a really tough choice. For me, that finishes out running back for us. We're going to be weak at tight end. And we could have just, like, threw wide receiver in the bag right there. We would have had Evans, Devonta Smith, Hollywood Brown, Jason, Jordan Addison, Jamison Williams, Jahan Dotson, and Demarcus Robinson. Wasn't really a wrong selection there. Cats, did you hear the comments about Swift? No. No. Smokey, I saw your comment. Are you doing another draft? I will be doing another draft after this. It is the Fast Puppy, not the Hush Puppy. Fast Puppy is the only draft I'm entering until it fills. What are the comments about Swift? And if they're negative, I don't even want to hear it. Rashid Rice was number 27 last year in his rookie season, though. And this is a tough offense to pick up. You know, and I think for me, like, when you break it down, right, and he was, let's see here, single digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Single digits in 5 games in full PPR in his rookie season is great. It started off a little bit slower, but that second half of the season especially is when things started to get going. 24.7, 14.4, 18.2, 24.1, 11.7, 17.7. So it's really tough, you know, to have a wide receiver of Tyreek Hill's caliber ever again. You know, the consistency is a huge thing for me in fantasy football, especially in PPR leagues. So, it's true we haven't seen a wide receiver play to that caliber, but that's a tough comparison, right? Rice will be good. Cats, give me the DeAndre Swift comments before I smack you. Simp, what's going on, man? In a redraft, can keep one draft pick from previous year if it's after 10th round. Question is, my keeper would be A-Rich or Kincaid? Which one? Man, Demarcus Robinson fell. Oh, man, I wanted Ben Sinnott. I'm getting just smacked around. Okay, so how many teams are in the league, Simp? Is it 12? I'm assuming. I'd probably keep Kincaid. It's close. Why are people coming for me right now? I mean, this is just like super messed up, dude. Just why did it get sniped on Chig and Conquo there? And I thought Ben Sinnott might like fall back here a bit. I mean, I guess I'm just drafting Mike Gesicki. This team is still very good, but we had some good drafters in here, boys and girls. Yeah, Simp, I'd probably keep Kincaid because Kincaid, I mean, sometimes keeper drafts can be hard to prepare for. But if I look at the last subscriber mock draft from last night, you're probably going to see A-Rich. I don't know. It depends on how many teams keep quarterbacks. I mean, A-Rich is still probably at least a 6-rounder. I think you could argue, depending on how quarterback aggressive your league goes, 5th-rounder. And Kincaid's going actually pretty close to that area. So a lot of times with keeper leagues, like I try to look at value. Like if you can start your draft, like I'm in a keeper league where I drafted Devon Achane in the 10th. So I can start my draft with my RB1 at a 10th round value. Like those are the type of things. Like the year before, same league, I drafted Christian Watson in the 14th. I also drafted Amon-Ra in like this 5th or 6th, and I should have kept him. But it's like, you know, you want to look either for just an absolute stud, like a guy who you think can finish in the top 5, and it's undisputed. You keep him. Like I should have done with Amon-Ra last year. Or you look at a guy that you drafted in the 10th, 12th, 13th, 14th that you just hit on, right? That's why in keeper leagues, your last like 3 or 4 picks, just draft like rookie. to be that aggressive, but draft one or two rookies that you think have a lot of upside. It can definitely pay off, right? So yeah, I think if you want to keep Richardson and not worry about quarterback, that's fine. But still, my thing with Richardson is if I am going into the year with a Rich, I'm probably drafting a second quarterback. I'm drafting a guy like T-Law or Purdy or Goff who are not that injury prone. T-Law a little banged up last year, but, a guy who stands in the pocket doesn't have that same play style as A-Rich. So I'd probably keep Kincaid, but you're looking at losing the 10th or 11th pick at you're either starting your draft, quarterbacks locked in, or tight ends locked in. I think I'd rather have Kincaid locked in there. Still close, though. I mean, I'm also really high on Kincaid. I'm not high on A-Rich, but high on Kincaid, and I do think he could end up finishing the season as a tight end 1 potentially. All right, I'm going to dart throw a tight end here. Nah, you know what? I'm going to draft Will Shipley. Give me an Eagles player. All right, drafters. Get ready. I'm going to enter the lobby at 11:16 p.m. Eastern Time. Get your phones ready. Get your computers ready. Get your laptops ready. 11:16 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to enter the lobby, and there it is. Boom. I feel like I should have waited another minute. I mean, no way to predict that, but I don't know if anyone got in with me. Honestly, if you guys keep the fantasy questions going, maybe we'll do a third. Albert, good to see you. What's up, bro? Myers was extremely lucky with touchdown luck, plus got added target competition, plus the other 3 are just far superior players. Yeah, this is true. I mean, I still actually I do think Myers is a fair value where he's going. But when you look back last year, the touchdown, I mean, most of that, he had 2 week 1, 3 weeks in a row, weeks 5, 6, 7, and the rest were pretty sporadic. So, it's fair to say. All right, let's see. I got the 1-5 here. Okay, I think I'm going to still go either hero or double hero running back. And we'll just take a wide receiver here. I'll go JJ. I mean, I'm drafting Amon-Ra the most here. I have him ranked above JJ. But I've drafted him really aggressively. I try to balance that out, get some shares of Chase, get some shares of JJ here. Have plenty of shares of Lamb and Hill as well. So we'll go JJ. All are fine. Smokey, I'm so sorry. This was just, sometimes it happens, like you enter the lobby, there's 10 spots, it's like perfect. Enter the lobby, there's 1 spot, or I take the final spot, and then no one gets in with me. And this is just one of those tournaments that is filling pretty left and right. Shopkey says, love taking Ford and Chubb. Yeah, I think that's fine. Like, you lock up that backfield if you do that, and if you really want to get crazy, Donta Foreman too, like, the ADP that those guys are all going at, it's fine. You're just taking 2 to 3 roster spots to get a backfield. That is, I am just fine with just taking Jerome Ford, and I have taken some shares of Foreman late. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you believe in a backfield, you want to go out and get it, do it. Even if Chubb starts the year slow, hard to pass that value, says Chase. And for me, my issue is I don't know if Chubb's going to start the year. I think Ford is. I don't think that they're not going to rush Chubb back. So that's what worries me. Shopkey, thoughts on Palmer? I'm loving him. Yeah. Palmer, another guy. Like, if we're going to talk about, like, drafting wide receiver 1s, wide receiver 2s late, which I think is important to start to identify this time of year. Most people, Ladd McConkey's the first Charger wide receiver taken off the board. Fine. Palmer might truly be the wide receiver 1 on this team. McConkey might be in the slot. And Palmer might end up getting that touchdown upside. So an ADP of 146.6 on Sleeper. No reason to not love to draft him, No reason to not love drafting him. All right, give me Waddle here, but I also really like Saquon right there. Happy. Thoughts on the Texans wide receiver room? Who's the 1, 2, 3? Okay, this is another thing we've talked about throughout the offseason. I think Nico's a wide receiver 1. I do. I think Dell's the upside. Maybe won't be the most consistent guy. The upside kind of boomer bust guy. Still has great chemistry with CJ Stroud. And I think Diggs is the red zone guy. I think Diggs has nice touchdown upside this year. I still think Diggs is going to have a good season. And I think the thing, like, people look at Diggs last year and like he fell off. He wasn't the same. I think there are two things going on. A, they changed that offense entirely. Kincaid became so much more involved. They aggressively ran Josh Allen at the goal line. And James Cook got much more involvement. Okay. At the end of the day, Diggs was a top 10 fantasy wide receiver last year. He was the wide receiver 9 in fantasy football. Hold on, I gotta do something here. I'm just gonna go Derrick Henry here. But there's some wide receivers I really like, but I was thinking about maybe going like Rachaad White as my RB1, James Cook, but I'm a little bit against ADP for them. Could have gone Kyron here as well, but Kupp, Diggs, Pittman, Dell, Flowers. If I want to go 3 wide receivers there, they're all kind of perfect. I'm most commonly drafting Kupp out of those guys, but I'm fine with Henry as a hero RB. So, yeah, I think Collins is the wide receiver 1. I think he's going to have the most consistent year, a good blend of receptions, upside type picks, and still plenty of touchdown upside. But this is going to be one of those wide receiver rooms where it's going to be up and down throughout the year. It's going to be hard to really predict who's the best start. I'm drafting the most in Nico Collins. I'm not afraid of his ADP. I think he's one of the best values in the second round. He goes at the 2.4 tonight, but he falls back plenty back, as far back as the 211, 210 sometimes. So I'm all for Nico Collins, but I also think there's something to be said about the ADP of Tank Dell and the ADP of Stephon Diggs. Diggs goes at the 3-9 in this draft to the same team that has Nico Collins. Not a big surprise. And Tank Dell is sitting on the board as the second highest rated player with an ADP of 35 overall. And he might very well fall to that team who already has 2 of those Texans wide receivers. So, a little bit of a cheaper value if you're going after Dell or Diggs. I mean, you basically have, at least in underdog drafts, Collins in the second round, Diggs in the third, Dell in the fourth. And now I'm kind of sitting here, I'm kind of rooting for this guy to get Tank Dell if he is going to go and take all three. Yeah, I mean, the opportunity's there. There's been an interesting draft, like little light at running back, aggressive at wide receiver. Then we just see a big string there. He goes Pittman. He diversifies a little. We see a big string there of quarterbacks and tight ends. Allen, Laporta, Lamar, Andrews, Kelsey, gone. Dell's still on the board, but I'd be willing to bet he goes with one of these next two picks. But you do have some good running backs here. And you still have, top tier quarterback in Jalen Hurts, top tier tight end, and McBride. Mahomes is out there, so there goes McBride. I was about to say, if this guy gives me Dell, I'd be a little surprised. Let's just go Pickens. I want some shares of Pickens. I don't draft a ton of him, but Pickens is single-handedly won some people leagues and advanced people in best ball last year. So, all right, yeah, happy. I will say, Collins my wide receiver 1 for the Texans. I don't know if you can really label anyone on this team a wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, but I feel okay about calling Collins a wide receiver 1. Then after that, just different play styles. And I think all three guys have a good year. Cass technically wasn't about Swift, just Eberflus. Talking about wanting to keep it a RB by committee and play the hot hand. I did see that, but guess what? DeAndre Swift is the hot hand, okay? So I'm not even worried about it. Okay? Man. Snipe Masters out here. Okay, I have a lot of shares of Hollywood Brown. Let's just switch it up. Let's go Keenan Allen. Jaden Reed there's fine. You want to go Chris Godwin there, that's fine. Switch it up. Give me some Keenan Allen. I don't have a lot of Keenan Allen shares, so. I have smashed the draft button on Hollywood Brown there. I did it last draft. This team going aggressive at wide receiver. Amon-Ra, Adams, Flowers, Dell, Hollywood. Just tremendous value coming to him. Don't be afraid to put together underdog teams where you draft 5 wide receivers to start. Okay? I think a 5 wide receiver start, a hero RB start, a 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end, elite tight end start are the 3 best ways to start. Kat, I see that DeAndre Swift slander in my chat, and I will report you for abuse if it does not stop. Shopkey, Dobbins at 197, best sleeper in my opinion. Yeah, I think with Dobbins it comes down to injury. I think he feels healthy is the report we've gotten. Is healthy. Let me check. I'm a Gus the Bus guy. 3 months ago, feels fully healthy, coming off the Achilles tear that he suffered. Didn't that happen in the playoffs? Or that happened week 1? Yeah, Keaton Mitchell got hurt late. That's right. These poor Ravens running backs, except for Derrick Henry. So, yeah, he's had time to recover. The longevity, and for a lot of people, it's the second year back from Achilles where things start to take off, right? If Rachaad White falls to me, I'm going to be so pissed. Because I could have got another earlier wide receiver. I talked about, okay, there goes White. That makes me feel better. Let's say if I could start with these 5 wide receivers and Rachaad White, I'd be super stoked. But he goes tight end there, which I also really like. Just give me Deontay Johnson here. I have a lot of Deontay Johnson shares. All right, I'll go Ingram if he's here at 77. If not, I'm probably just going JSN or Jordan Addison. Let's see. Sam, 12 team single quarterback have to decide before we draft. You know, honestly, even in 12-team leagues, I just feel like there's so much value at the quarterback position late in drafts that I'd probably just go Kincaid. But I'm also personally really high on Kincaid. Chat, what do you guys think? Keeper league? Get your QB1 and A-Rich in the 10th, or Kincaid tight end 1 in the 11th? Muhammad, what round is too soon for Anthony Richardson in redraft? 3 wide receiver full PPR. So I think in a 3 wide receiver format where you're seeing the wide receiver position be drafted a little bit more aggressively. Let me make this draft pick. You know what? I'm going to go Fergie here. A lot of good wide receivers there. Good running backs there. I'll go Ferguson. That's tough because I haven't done any 3 wide receiver mocks. I mean, other than Underdog, but that's also just a little bit different in terms of QB. But too early is the question. I think you'll see him off the board in the 5th still. Maybe he gets pushed back to the 6th round because more people are going after wide receiver. But I think 5th, 6th is still where he'll go. So if you have like a later or early 4th round pick, I guess, maybe an early 5th round pick, you might want to think about reaching for him. But outside of that, I don't think you need to too aggressively. Chase, one more for you. Do you think Drake London's going too early in drafts? No. I like Drake London. I find myself drafting a lot of Drake London. I think the touchdown upside is huge. And the important thing to remember that I think you want to do a blend of this when you're evaluating your strategy coming for the coming season, right? But fantasy football is not always about what happened the year before. It's about what can happen the following season. So Drake London the last 2 years, based on where he was drafted, based on the draft capital, he's been disappointed, right? 4 touchdowns his rookie season, 2 last year. He's never hit 1,000 receiving yards, but I think that will change this year. I think the touchdown upside is higher with Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. I mean, it's kind of like looking at Kyle Pitts. Like, we're drafting, if Kirk Cousins is not on this team, we're not drafting Kyle Pitts where he's currently going. You know what I'm saying? So I like Drake London. I find myself sometimes drafting Drake London before Marvin Harrison Jr. These 3, Drake London, Nico Collins, Marvin Harrison Jr., kind of tough. And also, Debo went at the 2-1 tonight. This guy's probably stacking week 17. He's got Kittle. I don't know what he's doing. But those 2 play Detroit, San Francisco play week 17. So maybe. Yeah, he can still get Goff in. He's got Lamar and Andrews. I don't know. He can get Goff and Purdy, I think, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, in my rankings, which come out tomorrow, top 32, I go Drake London, then Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm going to probably get some heat for that one, but I don't think he's going too early. I find myself taking him purely based on the touchdown upside. So I'm good with him, man. We'll see, though. See. All right, we're in the 8th round. I'm probably... Where is Billy? It's Jonathan Brooks. Interesting. I'll go Zamir White. I got a feeling that some running backs are going to get vultured. Got some heavy quarterback teams. We don't have a lot of running backs on these teams ahead of us here, but Swift and Mostert sitting here. I'd be really happy to land. Why do I do it? Every time I talk, they get drafted. I might just take another wide receiver. I might take Dak. Wow. Literally as soon as I start speaking. I'm not taking Dak Prescott. Never mind. I'm not going to say another player's name for the rest of this draft, okay? You know what? Someone brought him up earlier. I'm going to take Josh Palmer here. Let's move along. Okay, I need to figure out a quarterback stack for this team. Okay, I drafted at 125. Tua's ADP is 125. I've got Waddle. The team with Tyreek Hill has one QB and Jaden Daniels. I had to take Tua at 116. We'll see how many quarterbacks get selected, but that Hill Waddle or Hill Tua stack is very popular, and he's already stacked McLaurin, so I probably gotta go ahead and try for that one. Because other than that, I'm looking at Sam Darnold, JJ, Russell Wilson, Pickens. Caleb Williams is gone. Justin Herbert is a guy that I could see if he falls to 140. Because I have Palmer. Then I got Bryce Young and Deontay. Probably just going to take Tua. Can we get an over-under Swift bet, me and you? Losers to shave their eyebrows. I am not shaving my eyebrows. You crazy. No. I mean, we can do something that doesn't involve shaving my eyebrows. Let's see. What are his lines? See, sometimes the NFL season lines come up to me for me. Sometimes they don't. Find his oh, I'm on them. I think. No, I'm not on them. Find his lines on Underdog for the season long. Shopkey agrees with Kincaid. For Simp. Chase says, I feel, yeah. Some people aren't sold on his talent. I haven't watched him enough. I think he'll be fine in this offense. I mean, I almost went Brian Robinson Jr. with my last pick, and he's still available. I'll usually pass on him because I feel like I can get Eckler later. Okay, well, he gets selected anyways. I'll go Tua here. I was contemplating passing on Tua and going back-to-back running backs with these two picks. Because I think we could have built a really good QB room. He gets Daniels, which is still a good pick. I just didn't know this guy was going to go with Tua or not because I could have gone Gus here and then gone Javonte, Blake Corum, Jerome Ford, Austin Eckler, whoever. And we'd be fine at running back. But there's just no. I just want a quarterback on this team that isn't awful. You know? Hopefully a running back I like falls to 140. Knowing my luck, this is just going to be a crappy RB team, which is fine. Just fine. There's an underdog pick 'em on Swift. Even underdog is scared. Fair. Let's go Jerome Ford here. Oh. Well, everyone I like there had the same bye week as either Henry or Zamir White, so it doesn't kill us. Charbonnet a little against ADP, but nothing crazy. He's got Lockett, JSN. Okay. Yeah, he's going 0 QB, which is fine. The team with Metcalf has T-Law, so. And this guy's going for Geno late. Shopkeep says Goff I'm taking so often. I think Goff's perfectly fine at his ADP. Probably potentially regressed from last year a little, but top 10 quarterback last year in fantasy, QB7. He was the QB10 in 2022. I think he'll probably put up similar-ish numbers. All right, so I've got... It's a pretty balanced team. 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and a tight end. I'm probably eyeing like Rico Dowdle, who I know more people are talking about Rico Dowdle and like feel okay about him, whatever. I don't feel that good about Rico Dowdle. He didn't really seem to pass the eye test for me last year. But in a draft like this, yeah, I'll take a shot on him. And yes, it's Zeke and Dowdle on that offense, undoubtedly. And if Zeke, crusty Zeke, crusts out, then Dowdle's going to get the opportunities. They don't have anyone else. I like Deuce Vaughn, and there goes Dowdle. Why do I talk about players? I just don't know if Deuce Vaughn can be that guy. Shopkeep says, check his numbers for indoor games. Unreal. In a good way or a bad way? Do they have a lot of indoor games? Don't they have like a ton this year? That's the point you're making? Yeah, they do have a ton to start the year, right? All right, this guy's got to go Eckler. He's got 2 running backs. I could see these other teams passing on Eckler. He goes Marshawn Lloyd. Could also see them taking Eckler, I guess. This guy's had a good draft. Billy C. There goes Herbie. And I almost thought about trying to see if Herbie would fall to 140. I like Schultz here. I like Jahan Dotson. But, yeah, I'm really happy that we took Tua and that Eckler fell. But we're in a bad position for bye weeks. But not really. I mean, we got Henry and Eckler on the same bye week, then White and Ford on the same bye week. But that still leaves us with 2 standing running backs. Goff is top 3 QB1 indoors. Yeah, I thought it was good, not bad. Only issue I see with Goff is I expect the Lions defense to be much improved. and will result in less shootouts and the need to throw. That's fair. But I think slight regression doesn't hurt too bad. You know what I'm saying? I think he's still top 10, even with a little regression. Just a teeny bit of regression. All right, a couple wide receivers I like here. Pearsall. Main guy I would draft right here. But I'm going to overreact to the TJ Hawkinson news today. I'm going to take T-Hawk here. There's also some good quarterbacks here, Cousins and Stafford here. But yeah, I'll take Hawkinson. We have JJ on this team, so I like that. Gives us a little bit exposure. All right, we got Tua with Waddle. Maybe I'll go Johnny Smith late. Henry, White, Ford, Eckler, true hero RB team. JJ, Waddle, Pickens, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Josh Palmer. Trying to get a little bit of different wide receiver exposure. Guys like Pickens, Allen, Palmer. Usually guys in that range that I draft more of. But tight end, we got Ferguson and Hawkinson. Pretty solid team. This guy does go Geno late, and he reaches. I don't know if you really need to reach right there with Cousins and I get it. You just want to lock it up. I've been there. I've really invested in this guy's draft for whatever reason, even though he was really high on Jonathan Brooks, which is fine. I don't know if you need to reach when Cousins, Stafford, Rodgers, and Baker. I think Geno goes before Baker, so I get it, but most of these teams are. I mean, there goes two of them, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's a strong chance that Geno makes the push to 163 when his ADP is like 164, 165. Oh, well. Not my business. All right, I like to get Chuba Hubbard this round or DeMarcus Robinson. I'm honestly fine with either guy. Matthew Stafford's kind of staring me in the face. Oh, I know what he did. He went Geno here because he's going to go Fant at 163. There goes Chuba. I guarantee you that's what he does. That's smart. Fant's ADP is actually 163. Bunny Hops in the building. John, I'm asked at NCAA when we playing. I don't even have it. I don't have the most recent. I wish I could play, bro. I don't have a new gen console. I don't have any time to play video games except like after the Super Bowl's over in like beginning of the spring. Usually get down with some Madden. But yeah, my free time is gone. Man, this guy got Stafford for no reason. Auto pick. Already has two quarterbacks. I've heard NCAA is fantastic. I would love to play it. I enjoy watching clips of it. I enjoy seeing other people play it. We do have a thread on the Discord. Encourage you guys to join it. If you are playing NCAA, whether you're playing on Xbox or PlayStation, plenty of members in the community are currently playing it. You can go out, play with some more members of the community. All right, like I'm probably going to take a QB. I might take an unstacked QB2. I mean, I guess I can take Bryce Young late. What's his bye week? It's different from Tua. If Baker's sitting there at 173, I might take him. Evans fell, and the team with Evans doesn't really need a QB3. They got Stroud and Hurts. If I'm spending that much draft capital on two quarterbacks, I'm probably good. That goes Levis. I have to take Young at 188. Thielen's kind of staring me down here. I still need running backs on this team. All right, there goes Thielen. So if I go Thielen, then Young, but I already have Deontay. I feel like these teams could go. Yeah, if Ray Davis fell, I'd take Ray Davis. All right. I'll take J.K. Dobbins in honor of Shopkey. I mean, I just need to be taking running backs at this point in the draft. So here we are. Not really drafting an incredible amount of J.K. Dobbins, but sometimes if you guys bring up a player, I'll just draft them because I like you guys. And then J.K. Dobbins wins me a best ball tournament. I'll look back and I'll say, remember when Shopkey told me he liked J.K. Dobbins? And then I will send you guys a pizza. All right, 3 more rounds here, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot about Jonnu Smith. He's gone. Baker Mayfield. Baker is a guy, when he gets passed on, like, he will fall like 2 rounds. And I guess it's because if you don't have Godwin or Evans, there's not really a major reason to draft him. But I think he is fine as a QB2. So this team that has Lamar and Purdy has 2 quarterbacks. The team that just drafted Otton has Cousins and Allen. Like, I guess Otton's the other guy. I guess you could argue Rachaad White. That team's got Burrow, Herbert, and Stafford. But I think he's auto-picking. I think you can draft 4 quarterbacks as the limit. So I got to get a QB2. I'm putting a lot of trust in Tua. Probably going to draft Dameon Pierce. There goes Malachi Corley. I like Ben Sinnott. This area. I'm trying to get my Chicken Conquo exposure down. Chicken Conquo is my 2nd most drafted tight end. And it doesn't really bother me. Like, when I have late round guys popping up, like Demarcus Robinson is my most drafted player in Underdog. I don't care. He's my wide receiver 7. Like, it doesn't bother me. I think he's going to have a good year. I think the upside is part of a good offense. It's like, I'm just going to keep drafting him. You know, there goes Baker. Thank you. No reason for him to be on that team. I mean, I guess you got 2 rookie quarterbacks. Okay, that's a good spot for Baker. And they just went Henry and Douglas. That's why they go Drake May there. Billy C's been drafting players that I like all night long. All right, give me Bryce Young. Get the stack with Deontay. It's nothing crazy. But we need a QB2. Different bye week than Tua. This is fine. All right, about 2 more rounds to go, ladies and gentlemen. Great stream tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for all the fantasy questions. At this point, I'm trying to stream every single night. We're just at that time of year where it's what we need to do, right? We're getting more and more content out for you guys. Shorts are coming out. I have a video coming out. I have a long video coming out for you guys tomorrow. Go check it out. Go drop a comment. Here's our latest video, Must Draft Wide Receivers. Give it a click. Drop a comment. Throw a like on it. Check it out. You guys know what to do. Surprised this guy went Darius Slayton and not Tyler Boyd. He just drafted Levis. Or my guy, Chicken Conquo, who's still on the board just staring me down. But I'm going to draft Dameon Pierce. He's another guy I draft as an RB5. I don't do a lot of 6 RB builds, but Dameon Pierce, another guy, getting this range that, for me, if Mixon goes down, Pierce goes right in as an RB1. TCB, what's going on? Hello, hello. Stopped by to like, but got a jet. You the man. You are the man for stopping by and hitting the like. All right, this last pick, I don't really know what I'm going to do. Am I going to go wide receiver? Am I going to add another running back? Do I add another tight end? Do I add another quarterback? We'll find out. It's just this team is like pretty solid. Tua stacked with Waddle. Bryce Young stacked with Deontay. Derrick Henry, Zamir White, Jerome Ford, Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins, Dameon Pierce. I think we're fine at running back. It's a hero RB team. J.J. Waddle, Pickens, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Josh Palmer, Demarcus Robinson, Jake Ferguson, T.J. Hawkinson. Could go to Tavion Sanders. You know, Hawkinson's still going to miss time this year. Kind of adds to that stack. With Young, we could go Russell Wilson. We got Pickens. Let's get aggressive, get another stack. I don't think we need another running back. Like, there's just no one here that, I mean, I maybe Donta Foreman. Or did we get an 8th wide receiver? Usually I want 8 wide receivers. So Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark, Zay Jones, Odell Beckham. Probably going to go Odell Beckham or Malik Washington because we have Tua. Shopkey, thank you for hanging out tonight. Have a great night's sleep. Sammy Darnold, yeah, he's on the list too here. He, of course, has the same bye week as Tua. But, yeah, Sammy Darnold, throw him on the list. I'm probably going to draft Odell Beckham. All right, guys, be sure to hit the like on the way out. We'll kind of wrap up after this draft is done. Links are down below. Guys, make sure you're on the Discord. It is free to join the Discord. That'll let you guys know when I'm going live, when I'm doing Underdog drafts, when we're doing our PPR mock drafts, get you guys our mock draft invites. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. All of that good stuff. Tomorrow morning, we will have my top 32 players coming out. Plenty of content coming out throughout the week. Make sure you guys look out for it. And J-Dub's coming in at the end of the stream tonight, gifting a 1-month membership. It goes to SportsFan94. What's up, J-Dubby? I feel like it's like the second night, at least the second night this week, that you came in at the end of the stream. I feel bad. 2 drafts down, 2 good entries tonight. 0 RB team. Here, we'll take a quick look at both teams. I now have 30 entries in the Fast Puppy. First team was Hurts, Baker, Hurts stacked with Devonta, and Baker stacked with Evans, C-Mac, Swift, Ford, Eckler, Chuba, Will Shipley. Little, I guess that adds to the Philly exposure. Mike Evans, Devonta Smith, Hollywood, JSN, Jordan Addison, Jameson Williams, Jahan Dotson, Tyler Boyd, Luke Musgrave, and Mike Gesicki. Second team, we got Tua. He is stacked with Waddle. Bryce Young stacked with Deontay. Derrick Henry, Zamir White, Jerome Ford, Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins, Dameon Pierce, J.J. Waddle, Pickens, Allen, Deontay, Palmer, Robinson, the DeMarcus Robinson, Odell Beckham, adding it to that Tua stack big time. Fergie and Hawkinson. This is a well-balanced team. So I've also had some other teams that I've drafted off air lately. Yeah, here's one. Stafford with DeMarcus Robinson and Blake Corum. This was like a 0 QB team. Bryce Young is he's stacked with Deontay Johnson and Jatavion Sanders. Mostert, Robinson, Corum, Chase Brown, Ray Davis. That's for you, J-Dubs. Dameon Pierce. But this is the big thing. The wide receivers, right? Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Jordan Addison, Jahan Dotson, DeMarcus Robinson. This is a loaded wide receiver room. And we got Dalton Kincaid on this team too. So this is a 0 RB, 0 quarterback team with an early tight end, aggressive at wide receiver. And I end up really liking this build if the right players come to you. If these rookie running backs, Blake Corum, Ray Davis, make enough of an impact, Chase Brown takes that year 2 leap. I think Brian Robinson, Raheem Mostert, safe enough floor. This could be a very nice team. There's the disadvantage to this team is we didn't really get like a high ceiling in terms of stacking. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? I'm very tired. Cooper Kupp's on this team. Stafford's on this team. This is a good team. Take that back. That's a nice team. Then I don't think this team was on air either. Baker, Moneymakers with Rashad White, Chris Godwin, and Cade Otton. Bryce Young. If all else fails, draft Bryce Young and or Deontay Johnson. He's here outside of Chuba. Derek Carr is also here because Baker and Bryce Young had the same bye week. Rashad White, DeAndre Swift, B-Rob, Gus the Bus, Austin Eckler, Chuba Hubbard, Garrett Wilson, M.H. Jr., Pittman, Flowers, Godwin, Addison, DJ Chark, Dalton Schultz, Cade Otton. That's a pretty well-balanced team, although the quarterback play is not super high caliber. Here's an interesting one. Josh Allen with Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. A-Rod is just there. Then I needed a third quarterback because of the bye week, right? So Russell Wilson is making an appearance. 4 running backs: Gibbs, Barkley, White, Eckler. Wide receivers are Flowers, Reed, Keon Coleman, Jordan Addison, Shakir, Lockett, Robinson, Malachi Corley. I guess he's with Rodgers. DJ Chark, Cole Kmet, and TJ Hawkinson. And this team I did draft on air, so we'll end there. But I did like this team. Tua with Waddle, Young is just there. Hall, Kyron, Cook, Walker, B-Rob, Waddle, Flowers, Reed, Sutton, Pearsall, Robinson, Corley, Chark, Odell Beckham, also with Tua, Schultz, and Hawkinson. This is a team where we had a lot of I think I was just switching between running backs and wide receivers. Yeah, RB wide receiver, RB wide receiver, RB wide receiver, and running backs were just falling to us. Kyron at 3.8, Cook at 5.8, Walker at 7.8. Then we went B-Rob. That was a fun draft. That was Saturday night. All right, guys, I'm done for the night. I'll be back on tomorrow around the same time. So come back tomorrow. Maybe. You definitely should. Great stream tonight. Thank you guys for the fantasy questions. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys, man. Love the community. Love the Catch fam. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch.